everyone, today I want to have a little play session and create some cute little face illustrations. To do that, I will use this element from my Swatch Joy stamping set, and at the back of it you can see I have created a little illustration, and I think I actually never showed you how to do those. So today I will do that. Otherwise you can just use this element to create oval type of swatches, which I've done already. I'll try to link it up for you to see if you haven't yet. So along with this I will also use the stamp sets. I think they're currently discounted on my Etsy shop, so have a look. There's a spring sale going on, and I've got 4 different flower stamps: pansy, lavender, buttercup and wax flower, and I'll try to use some of these flowers in creating like a floral crown to go with the faces. That's the idea. Let's see how we get on. I'm also going to use this acrylic block, and I think I have a bunch left with imperfections, which I will be selling at a discounted point as well. So check these out too if you're interested. All of the stamps that I'm going to use today, they fit perfectly onto this acrylic block. It's nice and small and it's easy to maneuver. In terms of the colors, in terms of the color ink, this is my ink of choice, Distress Ink by Tim Holtz in Tattered Rose. You probably know by now if you've been watching this channel for a little while. I also have a bunch of these Versa Magic inks, so that the Dewdrops, some of them are Brilliance, so I think this is the Brilliance and the rest is Versa Magic. And they're basically lovely chalky inks in beautiful colors. I haven't decided which exactly I will use. I just picked out a few. I've got Mango, Pink Grapefruit and Aquatic Splash and Sahara Sand, and then Galaxy Gold is a beautiful gold ink. Okay, so let's just do one face. I'll do one face, but like with a big crown, I think. Maybe I'll do it here. Alright, so that's our face. In terms of the flowers, I'm just going to use the flower part of the stem. So that's why I can fit it onto here. Like that. So these are very juicy and you don't need that much, so just be aware of that. Otherwise, if you press too hard, it just goes everywhere. So wherever you don't need it, just use like a tissue to wipe it off so that you stamp just the image that you need. I'm kind of using these buds from the stamp set and just sprinkling them around. And then I'm going to use the flower, the middle size flower here. This time I'm going to ink it up slightly longer. Because I want to make it come out here and also here. There we go. So that's looking nice. To clean them up, I just kind of, you can use a bit of water if you wanted to spray some water, but just stamping them off either on paper or on a tissue is absolutely fine. And then I'll look through some other flowers that I could use. So in Pansy we have this smallest flower, so you can see the way I designed them. Mostly it's 3 variations of the same flower, so the one that hasn't opened, the one that just opened, and then the kind of the bigger flower, the mature flower. And you obviously can do the same with the leaves. If you wanted to add some greenery, you just ink it up, just that part. So I'm just going to place that, and now ink it up so that I only have ink on this bud and nowhere else. And check if you got enough ink. Sometimes you need to build up just a touch. It's better to build up than have too much. So this one will come out here, so I'm inking it up between those flowers. And if I wanted to go the different direction, I'm just going to flip it out like so and stamp it upside down. I think one up here somewhere would be nice as well. Or maybe, yeah, I'm going to go with the middle-sized flower this time. So I'm going to move it into the center of the stamp or of the acrylic block. Okay, so that's looking nice now. And what else? Let's see if there's anything else that takes our fancy. So these are the Wildflower collection, and I have been inspired to draw these flowers for my garden and the walks I take here in the countryside. Okay, so I think a couple of the wax flower as well. So we used Buttercup first, and we used the Pansy, and now let's use the wax flower. So again, we have smaller flower, kind of medium sized, and the largest. And I think at this point I probably want to have the medium. Again, that goes onto your center of the block, and then look above it where you are inking up, and it's so easy just to put the ink exactly where you need, and then look at it. If something got inked up that you don't want to stamp, just wipe it off. Okay, so that has filled it up nicely, but I think I also want it maybe, well, let's see. Yeah, I'll put it into a couple of more places, like that. It's okay if they overlap a little bit, absolutely fine. And maybe one up here actually. Just think about the flower crown, where you want it to go, the shape of it, and be creative. This is the time to just let your imagination go. Okay, something here is missing because it's just a straight line, so I want to bump it out a bit more. And I think what I'm going to do is go back to that buttercup and use that little bud. Let me just show you. So this one here, just going to use that again. So if there are gaps as well, you want to put that in, that would be a good little element to stamp, to kind of just close in the gaps a bit. And it's a nice little flower to sprinkle around, maybe one here as well. Maybe one at the bottom right there. Okay, that's it. I think we're good. One more here. This process is quite addictive. You could just sit there and just keep on, you know, growing the crown or whatever project that you're working on. But it definitely helps to embellish your illustrations in a really quick way. And it's quite pretty. I'll bring you up a little bit closer so you can see. So here it is, the floral crown, looking rather nice. You could leave it as it is, gold, and just do the face, or you could color it in. There's so many different styles and varieties that you could do, but I'll leave it at that just for now. Okay, so that's it. Then what I will do is I will use lips from this, one of the first clear stamps that I have ever created. I think I still have a few in stock. I had the third restock of them, so they're still available if you wanted to get one. It's Face of the Day FOTD, and it's got 20 elements in there. The one I'm going to use is down here from the one of the 5 lips, and I'm going to go for this one. And the rest we will draw on, because these eyes are, I mean, you could use them, they're just a little bit big. So they would look like they're sitting a bit closer together. In fact, you could totally do it. If you wanted to use this, if you already have this set, you could snap these stamps in the middle and create like individual parts. When I was designing this set, the first edition was actually just individual items, which was really fun to work with, like wonky eyes and things. But then I thought, if you wanted straight lines, it would be a lot easier to give you the straight line, and then if you wanted the option in like individual eyes, you could just snap them in the middle. So it would be kind of your choice. And if you snap it in the middle, you basically, it would be easy to then bring them back together right on that line where you cut it, if you wanted to create a straight strip of eyes. So you could do that, but I actually decided to draw them just in case if you don't have this set and you didn't want to stamp eyes and you wanted to kind of learn how to draw eyes. So I'm giving you a few options here, stamping or drawing, but the lips I will use from here just because I really like this lip. And yeah, it just works really well in a lot of face illustrations that I do. So that's the lip. The lip is always good to start with because you're giving your face kind of, you settle things in the face. So if that makes sense, I like to have a big forehead and then the eyes set kind of in the middle of this. So then basically you have this area dedicated for the face. Okay, so for now I'm just going to get a little pencil just to draw the eyes. Oh, in fact, I'm going to use an ink pen. I don't know if it's dried up yet because I haven't used it in a very, very long time. So let's see. Oh no, it's working. Okay, so I'm just going to give her big eyes and set them nicely apart so that there's a big space in between the eyes. You can use the nostrils, you know, to create a more kind of separated area. For the nose, just do what you like to do. I'm going for quite an illustrative style today. I'm going to give her a nice winged eyeliner. So these type of illustrations where you help yourself with a stamp set, they're good for the days when we want to stay creative, but we don't want to do everything from scratch. It helps to just like psychologically and mentally, it helps to start a project where you don't know where to start, but there is a little helping point by using these stamps. So you put something on the page and then you add a little bit more, and then it just keeps on growing. So we started with a blank page and next thing we know we have loads of flowers here. So it really works quite nicely. Okay, so I'm going to give her little ears like so. And then in terms of the eyes, just going to give her big eyes like so. It was so funny. I always like to draw the pupils like that, so across. And someone a while ago said that it reminds them of the goat, because the goat's pupil is kind of across and it's like elongated, and I've never thought that way of my illustrations, that they look like goat eyes, but there you go. I thought that was funny. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to just give her a little neck. This is, you know, your own creation here, so go for whatever you want. I actually have a body that you could give her. Oops. So you could use this moving doll and you could give her a flexible body, so she could, you know, do different postures like fashion poses and movements and all of that. And I have a side, I have a kind of more full figured and a slimmer, and then I have a front facing side as well. And so you kind of just build your own, and there are tutorials there which I'll try to link you to. So if you wanted to create a face with a body, this would work. You have a face here which is a different shape to the face of the day, which I just showed you. Where is it gone? I had it somewhere. Oh, here. So face of the day is this face, and then we have a different shape. So if you wanted to use this as a shape as well, which is less striking, so it's got more of a, you know, rounder jaw, but it's not as round as this one, you can totally do this face with this body. So it all works together. So if I haven't mentioned, this pen is beautiful for fine line. This is why I love it, for my beautiful little girl faces and illustrations. So the tip is really fine. It's a fountain pen, and the other good thing about it is that it's waterproof. So the ink in here, so it's platinum carbon ink pen and platinum black ink is completely waterproof. So if you wanted to go over with watercolors, which we will do, you are okay to do that. So I'll try to link everything down below for you. I'm thinking about a skin tone that I would like to mix up. So I'm thinking of like a Caucasian skin tone. So I'll go for Naples yellow, and I will pink it up a touch. And kind of create this sort of peach. And into that peach I want to neutralize it with a touch of madder brown. And I want to add yellow ochre to it for a little bit of opacity. And that would be our kind of skin tone here. So I'm going to avoid the flowers. And just for now, I haven't decided what I'm doing with the forehead just yet. So I'm just going to add color to her face and her ears, her neck, avoiding the eyes and lips. Everything else I'm filling in. I'm using Jackson's Quill brush, which I absolutely adore. And I have multiples of it. So if you are interested, again, it should be all linked in the links. If I ever say it's down below in the links and you find something isn't, just let me know in the comments, because sometimes I, may forget to do that. Okay, so if you wanted to darken things up, what you do is just go in the same color and add it into the wet paint, like so, so that you kind of create a little more depth to it and deepen up certain areas. You will still be able to do that once the paint dries, but now as we are kind of doing the first layer of the paint, you can do it, and it sort of will create that wet into wet look where it just sort of merges out. So it's nice and lovely. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry and we'll come back to it in a minute.